Celebrating service in Nye County for 10 years, Desert View Hospital.
It's been warm enough and the sun's been bright enough that we're starting to see a lot of snakes. One of the animal control officers was telling me the other day they've had about a half dozen poisonous snakes that they've taken possession of right here in Pahrump over the last few weeks. In particular, one of the earliest ones out is sidewinders. This is a little unusual, but they actually got a Mojave green the other day.
He relocates them, right?
Where you can. The Mojave greens are so dangerous that unless one of the colleges is looking for some, the safest thing to do for the community is to destroy them. However, the sidewinders and any of the other in the rattler family, we relocate them.
We got bees.
Bees, again, it's that time of year where beehives will do what they call swarming. Swarming is when the queen, the hive actually splits in two. They'll be looking for a new queen. Professional beekeepers prevent that from happening by implanting a new queen on a regular basis. However, in the wild setting, the bees around here, they'll go looking for a new queen and they do a thing called swarm. That's when you see them like hanging on a tree or up against a building, and it's a great big ball of bees, a swarm.
And so typically they only hang out for a couple days and then they move on.
That is correct.
What should you do?
Where possible, just leave them alone. If it's on your house, like on your porch, if you have another door that you can go in, just leave them alone and they'll leave you alone. Use the other door. If it's in an area where people are going to be directly affected, and again, you have to use a little bit of common sense because this is not an easy process, then they would have to be destroyed by one of the pest control companies. But again, the best thing to do is leave them alone, and within 24 to 36 hours they're going to leave on their own because all they want to do is find a new home.
And so you need to watch out if you're especially out hiking around for the snakes that might be out. I've heard some calls, some snakes in people's yards and stuff, and they typically call animal control.
Yes, that's correct. Fortunately, the snakes, they don't want anything to do with us if they can avoid it. So if you give them some room and some distance, they'll move on. When animal control gets these calls, better than 50% of the time they're gone by the time they get there because they're just moving through. So where you can, leave them alone. And then again, for hikers or even in your own yard, be aware that poisonous snakes are pretty hard to see sometimes, especially in the desert. Just give them a little berth and all will be well.